Jack here, JBF Music and Guitar Lessons, back with some more musical guitar goodness for you. This Chris Poland chromatic bending trick. Alright, new gimmick, do you like the sound of this? Then make sure to give subscribe a click for some more impromptu licks. Still working on the tagline. In this quick guitar tricks, we're looking at the awesome Chris Poland bending idea. If you want a deeper dive into his playing style with trademark signature licks, give the eye up there a click for a signature guitar licks tutorial. Now, the man can nail these bends way better than me, so as ever, go to the source and see what else you can pick up on. Tabs are up on patreon.com/JBFmusic if you want them. If you enjoy this video or the content I put in general, please do let me know with a like and a comment on what you'd like to see more of, but let's hop to it.
The basic premise is to bend, or pre-bend, by a tone, release by a semitone, then release back to pitch. So up by a tone, release by a semitone, then back down to pitch. Essentially playing a little chromatic rundown to your target note. You'll notice I'm pulling the strings down for more strength and control, more on why I do that kind of thing with a little eye up there. Neck pickup and a creamy tone will get you in the right ballpark in terms of the sound, but what can really make this slap is which notes you pick. In that intro, the first set of bends, these ones in the tab up here, were over an A minor chord, resolving to the flat 7th, the 6th, 5th, 4th, and 2nd. Are probably a bit more typical of Chris Poland, but really try this out all over the fretboard and get a feel for which ones you like the sounds of best. So in terms of the theory, I'm going to be pretty brief here. The note you bend to is pitched a tone higher, it gets dipped to semitone, then released to its natural pitch. For example, in bar 1 we've bent the flat 7th because I'm in A minor here, up a tone to the root, I'm releasing it, down to the major 7th, then down to the flat 7th. If you want a rundown of each of these, hit me up in the comments, but I figure if I outline the formula, you can just apply it to each example. So here they are a bit more slowly. Down to the 10th fret. The 9th. That 7th fret here. You notice you'll get some really cool harmonic content if you've got quite a lot of gain on like I do. This 5th fret here. As a side note, I'm kind of bending up, dipping it, and then putting vibrato when it's released. But you could add vibrato to the first bend you do. Or even the one in the middle. Here. If you're doing that, you probably want that to be a target note. So for the sake of argument, let's say we were targeting A over an A minor chord. What we could do is bend the major 7th up to the flat 2nd and kind of resolve it to that A there. So you could have something like that again. Obviously you can make the first note less pronounced or just pre-bend, so you get over a... Loads of tricks to be had. For major chords, I'd suggest trying out these intervals. So that first one is bending the major 7th to the flat 9 or flat 2nd, then down to the root, back to the major 7th. So it's quite tense, but that sort of uneasy floaty resolution is all over Poland's playing. In bar 8 there, where we're starting on the 9th fret, you might have noticed that was in the last examples as well. You'll find that quite a few of these work well over both major and minor chords, especially if you want to imply something like a dominant 7th chord, then doing that 12th fret bend up to the 14th, dipping it down to the 13th and resolving to the 12th will be pretty cool to chuck in the mix. Bar 9 is another noteworthy idea, that one that starts on the 6th fret, because we're hinting at Lydian. We've got the 3rd being bent to the sharp 4th, down to the 4th, then down to the 3rd. Bar 11, I mixed it up a bit to give you a bit of a springboard for more cool stuff you can do with this, because we've just got the root, the 2nd, the flat 2nd, back to root. It's not all that exciting or Chris Poland sounding, so what I've done here is pre-bend by a tone, so we're going up to here, release by a semitone, bend back up to the tone, release to the semitone, then pull off or pick this pre-bent 13th fret. You may need to readjust this bend, a bit like in the Still Got the Blues solo by Gary Moore, which you can find with a little eye up there, but because the string is already bent, we're bending the major 7th up to the root. Now those familiar with the channel, and a shout out to the Lick Squad Elite, you guys rock, will have figured out why this sounds so cool. It allows us to add vibrato above and below the target pitch, making it more vocal, exotic, and importantly for this tutorial, more like Poland. Bending with vibrato is a true skill in and of itself. I don't want to derail this video, but you can get my tips on how to keep it controlled with the eye in the corner. So here's that idea a bit more slowly. So here's that idea in context. Depending how quickly you're playing this and how much sustain you got on your guitar, you might be able to pull off to the 13th fret, you might have to pick it like I did there. So one more time. Okay, the most observant among us will have noticed I missed out a few notes, specifically the tune bars 13 and 14 up there. So we're pre-bending the flat 5th to the flat 6 here, releasing to the 5th, then ending on the flat 5th. It's pretty tense over an A chord, but totally usable over like a diminished chord, or if you want to create that uneasy vibe. Similarly, bar 14 would work well in a kind of Locrian Phrygian context, because what we have is the flat 2nd, bent to the flat 3rd, release to the 2nd, and back down to the flat 2nd. Again, lots of crunch and tension. However, the final thing I want to touch on here is context. If you play bar 14 and then bar 15. Now 15 is just resolving to the root, it's not that exciting, but down the octave, so before we played it up here. Same thing, but just here. But when we play those bars back to back, you get this really nice tension from bar 14 and release in 15. So while I've been talking about these in reference to a simple A triad, be it minor, major, or diminished, the type of chord could be a 7th, it could be a suspended or some other extension. A chord progression, or indeed a riff, will have a profound impact on how all these sound in a more real-life context. But as ever, a drone or simple backing track is a great way to get a feel for using this trick. Give that a click if you want more Poland traits. This has been Quick Guitar Tricks, that's the playlist there. But yeah, click subscribe to keep up with your channel, leave me a comment, check out the tabs on my Patreon, and enable all notifications by ringing that little bell on the side if you feel so inclined. Cheers, guys.